What's up, guys? I'll be clicking on here live in a second. Just doing some stuff behind the scenes right now. Man, that sounds loud. Does it sound okay out there? Let me know. Why is that background music going? Let me know how that sounds, guys, in the chat, too. I'm streaming it twice, so I'm curious if it's... What's up, YouTube world? How you guys doing? It is SJG Perspective. Make sure you guys like the stream. Give it a thumbs up, all three of you. And, don't forget to share this thing out over your social medias before and after. So, anyways, who do we got in the chat here? We got a few people in here. What's up, Gator? Michael Hodges. And that's it. It says 3 viewers, but I'm probably one of those viewers because every time I go live, I'm one of them. So I didn't have anything totally set to talk about, but I hadn't been on in a while, so I figured I would jump on. And there's been so much to cover. It's almost overwhelming, man, without having being a little more prepared on how I want to talk about all these things. It's a little overwhelming. Everything with the squad and the whole kerfuffle with Trump and Trump, saying, all of what he's saying getting twisted, I think a little out of context and a little too much. And then, what's up, Stephen Weibel? How are you? My brother-in-law, literally. No, not my brother-in-law, my nephew-in-law. How you doing, man? It's good to have you in here, dude. Everybody say hi to Stephen. Stephen is married to my niece. So, he's got an awesome first name. So there's that. Anyways, there's been so much to talk about. I haven't been able to really prepare all my thoughts on everything going on with Trump and Trump, telling them that if they don't like it, they can leave. And then everything that, the POC squad, the People of Color squad, have been saying, and the whole, there's a whole lot of stuff to talk about on that. We shot down a drone today in Iran. That's interesting, and we're sending some more troops over there. That's not good. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. Can even make you a mod, cold-blooded. Yeah, that's right. He doesn't come in. And look it, my niece is also in here. Say hello to Rebecca. Also hi. Please continue. That's cute, man. I got a couple family members, and then people that might as well be family members. Michael Hodges and Gator are in here. They're always there. They're might as well be honorary family members also. So at any rate, yeah. So there's been a lot in the news cycle as of late, and it's been pretty interesting. I think I want to, while we're doing this here, I think what I want to do is I want to open up something that I can read some news from, so you guys can, if you're doing something else, run in the back, you can just listen to me in the background ish, whatever. How do I get there? We go. That's where I want to go. I want to go there. I think that's where I want to go. Yeah. And then Tommy Robinson, he got last week she got put into prison. We kind of touched on that one, but that's pretty insane. The whole immigration stuff, right? Trump didn't change the asylum laws, right? Yeah, 5D chess. It keeps moving up. First it was 4D chess. Now it's a 5D chess. It could be. Okay, so I think we're going to free flow on this a little bit. Let's just talk about the comments Trump made. So, obviously Ilhan Omar, Rashid Tlaib, and then the other two ladies, they're not coming to my mind right now. The one lady said, what was her name? Let me see if I can Google and get her name. I know I can picture her. Black. It's probably going to, just Googling this or saying it over the thing will get me in trouble. Blackface and black voice. I'm just looking at it, Google. Presley. That's Democrats don't need any more. This is just, could you be any more racist? I mean, even though this lady's black, it's just so crazy to me how she gets away with saying this, right? Maybe this is a video of her saying that. So it's Ayanna Presley. And there's been jokes running around. She's not related to the Presley, is she? Let me see here. Is this just going to be
a black voice during a liberal Netroots Nation conference on Sunday, a comment that comes as racial politics threaten to divide the party.
Okay.
The Washington Post reports Presley's...
I don't want to listen to him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bother YouTube here. Yeah, Presley. Thank you, Michael. I did get it. So we'll do this. We'll do Ayanna Press. I totally spelled her name wrong. But there we go. She'll help me out. Ayanna Presley speech. Netroot, right? 3 days ago, we will not, what's this one here? We will not be silenced. I wonder if this is where she says the whole, I want to narrow it down to, stay with me, people. Like I said, I'm shooting from the hip tonight. Ayanna, black voice. I'm going to type that into there. Black voice. Becomes Massachusetts' first black. Oh, really? So is YouTube really burying it in there that far? They are. So all the first ones that come up is, let's see here. We got Guardian News, PBS Hour, Glenn Beck, NBC News, and this is part of the new Facebook or the YouTube algorithms, right, where they're promoting authoritative news. That's the first things that come up here. Objects to the documents. No, come on here, guys. Shouldn't be that. It should be the first one that pops up, but it doesn't because they're trying to bury it because it was such a terrible thing to say. Oh, and they're trying to bury it. We don't need any more black. That's Glenn talking about it. Maybe this is it. Maybe she says that here. Let's just watch this one. And if she doesn't, then whatever.
Gratitude and thanks.
Okay, hang on a second here. Let me switch the article window. And boom. Boom, bam, boom. Wait for it. Okay, here we go. Let's listen to what she has to say.
To the solidarity that we have received from every corner of our country.
Okay.
From our colleagues to our neighbors.
Good.
We are grateful for your solidarity, your encouragement, and your support in the face of the most recent xenophobic,
There we go.
bigoted remarks
Boom.
from the occupant of our White House.
Boom! There we go. The most xenophobe. Now, she probably was the closest in being truthful in that statement, okay? Saying that it could be taken as xenophobic or bigoted. Ilhan Omar and AOC love to throw out the whole racist trope, but it really wasn't racist. And you know, when you look at it, geez, you know, we could say it was a 4 or 5D play by what he's by telling them that they could go back. They could go back, whatever it was, send them back, or they can go back to their place and figure it out if they don't like it here. You know what? I'm torn on that statement a little bit. I'm being honest here. I think if it really was him playing 4D chess, because they were getting such. So if you guys don't know, the squad here has been arguing with Pelosi, right? The new socialist, far left progressive was just, they were getting Pelosi and these 4 chicks were just at it. They were going at it. Pelosi was kind of distancing herself from them and everything else. And so they going back and forth because this is the new face, right, of the Democratic progressive movement. Then Trump comes out and, you know, says, makes a comment, and everybody jumped on him right out of the get-go, basically saying these women they hate America, they don't like America, let them go back to where they came from, which he leaves that a little open. Does he mean back to the districts of which they came from and fix those and then show back? I think it was a double-edged sword, but many people took it as go back to whatever country they came from and fix what they need to do there and then come back and show us how it's done. Well, it was an ignorant statement in that 3 out of the 4 were born here. 1 was not, Ilhan Omar. And I do not like any of these women, and it's not because they have darker skin than me or it's because they're women. It's because they are absolute fakes. They're absolute fakes, all of them. And they are pushing an agenda just to be as far. You have to get far left just to be even seen or heard anymore. So they're pushing themselves out as far as they can to get the credit, you know, to get credit for, or to get attention rather, not credit, but to get attention. So at any rate, moving on. So then Trump comes out and says that, and everyone's like, how, that was the dumbest thing you could do. They were eating them, you know, the babies were eating their own, so to speak. And you just totally took the attention off of them. Why would you do that? Well, really what he did is he made the Democratic Party that was trying to distance themselves from these guys marry up to them again and reconnect. So yeah, it could have been a very brilliant move. I also heard Tim Pool talking about another idea that he has, is that it was not only a 4D chess, it could have been high level 4D, maybe like Gator said 5D chess, in that a day before all this went down, Trump rewrote, and I don't want to say rewrote, he's reinforcing the asylum laws, which was saying that if you are not coming, if this is not the first country you're coming to from wherever you're coming seeking asylum, we're not giving you asylum status anymore. So you would have to fly in here and claim asylum. But if you're coming from anywhere other than Mexico, right? If you're a Mexican and you're coming up here seeking asylum, well then yes, technically you could seek asylum, but then you have to see if your asylum claim is actually legit or not. Lower or very, very far down South American, you know, El Salvador, Guatemala, all that, they are no longer going to be receiving asylum status. But here's the thing of why I say he didn't really rewrite this. Those are already the UN asylum laws. The UN asylum says that you have to be, there's a bunch of, and I don't have it memorized, but basically you have to show that you are definitely a political, seeking political asylum or seeking asylum from death squads or so on and so forth. And where you seek asylum is the first country you come to with the country that you're exiting, right? So all these other people in lower South America would have to be claiming asylum in Mexico, not traveling through Mexico to claim asylum in America. So he passed that. He rewrote or he I don't know what you would say. He put that, you know, executive order out or whatever you want to call it, and that got buried under all this news. So no one's really talking about that, which could have caused a really big, huge uproar and could have ruffled a few feathers. Nobody's talking about that. Everyone's just talking about this kerfuffle. Not fuckle. Fuffle is what I meant to say. Not kerfuffle. Yeah, it's just kerfuffle is what the words I meant to say. Anyhow, so getting back to what these people were saying, I think it is so astounding what this Ayanna Pressley says. And I know I'm not the first one reporting on this. It's been a whole bunch of people. It's been a little hashed. I almost didn't want to talk about it because it's been so overhashed by now. Everything that could be said has been said about it. But let's carry on here and listen to what she has to say. I'm dropping off viewers anyways.
I will always refer to him as the occupant, as he is only occupying space. He does not embody the grace, the empathy, the compassion, the integrity that office requires and that the American people deserve.
Okay. So this is the classic rip on Donald Trump because we hate him because he's Donald Trump, right? We just tear Donald Trump down because he's Donald Trump. But, you know, and like I have always said, and I will always probably continue to say, is there's times he says stuff that I'm like, come on, why'd you have to say it like that? Or, oh man, that was probably not needed. Or, you know, the way he talks sometimes bothers me just because it's so repetitive, you know, and it's just like, oh, it's hard to listen to him. But having said that, I do support our president, and I do support what he's trying to get done for the most part on most subjects. And everyone hates him because he is no respecter of persons. Here's why I don't think he's a racist. It wouldn't matter if it was a white woman, a white guy, a Latino woman, a Latino guy, a person of color, a black lady, a black guy. He doesn't care who you are. If he disagrees with you, or if you cross him, or if you talk bad about him, whatever it may be, he doesn't care who he makes fun of or what he says that is politically incorrect. He does not reserve that for just, you know, brown people or dark colored people or, you know, however you want to call it, your xenophobic type racist trope that is just getting completely overdone, right? Racism doesn't even mean, the word is losing its power because of the progressive lefts call everybody racist. I've used this analogy before, but in The Incredibles, the bad guy at the end of it, when he's got all the Incredibles wrangled up in his secret hideaway fortress, right? And they're all, you know, bound up and in jail. He explains his master diabolical plan, which is he's going to make everybody super, because when everybody is super, no one will be. This is the same thing that goes, though, for hashtag no capes. Very true. This is the same thing that goes for our verbiage and the language and the, you know, so on and so forth that we are pushing in this climate that we live in right now politically. When you call everything and everyone a racist, it waters that word down to where no one is a racist. And then when real racism comes out, when real racism is happening, everyone misses it. Or by that time, it's the whole cry wolf thing, right? You cry wolf too many times, nobody comes when there really is a wolf eating the sheep. You cry racism over everything. When you say racism, when you need to point it out, no one's going to really believe you. They're automatically going to doubt that it really was a racist thing. So what this lady says to me is very bigoted. She wants to talk about how bigoted our president is, right? What she's about to say in the speech, which I'll get back to, is super bigoted. Is super, you could dare say racist. Probably not racist, just bigoted, where in ridiculous. I'll let her say it. I hope this is
that being said.
Yeah.
I encourage the American people and all of us in this room and beyond to not take the bait.
Okay.
This is a disruptive distraction from the issues
that you're having
of
with
care,
Pelosi,
concern, and consequence to the American people.
Okay.
That we were sent here
right
with a decisive mandate from our constituents to work on.
Right. Like what?
Everything from reducing the cost of prescription drugs.
Okay. Oh, Trump did that actually, by the way. Prescription drugs, and this is the first time I've watched this video. Prescription drugs are lower than they ever have been. Trump already did that. Go.
To addressing our affordable housing crisis.
Okay. He's working on that too, actually. He's actually working on that too. So he would be on page with you guys. That's also what he wants to do. Go.
To ensuring that the American people have more than health insurance, but health care.
Okay, that's also what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it that it's not mandated and people that don't even want it are having to pay for it, or that you're skyrocketing, your rates are getting completely ridiculously out of control, right? And you're getting less care and coverage under the old Obamacare. So, no, he wants to do that too. It sounds like they have a lot more in common than they even realize. Go.
More recently,
Yeah.
thanks to the partnership of Chairman Elijah Cummings and the advocacy of myself and a coalition of advocates I've worked with for decades, we held the first hearing on childhood trauma.
Okay.
And in sitting in that hearing, as we heard about the many manifestations and iterations of childhood trauma, in the wake of the public health crisis and epidemic that is gun violence, in the wake of PTSD, in the wake of those battling substance abuse disorder and a host of other things, it was impossible not to think of the trauma that is being inflicted upon children every day at our border.
Oh, here we go. And back into the border debate here and all the terrible care that's being taken care of, or it's happening to the border people, the children at the border. So many ways, so many things we could talk about here. I have a question. They're so worried and they're so worked up about this. What happens when somebody breaks the law? A father or a mother steal a car, break into somebody's house, take a bunch of drugs, get busted for buying drugs, shoot somebody, stab some, whatever, cheat on, it doesn't matter. You pick the crime. What happens to American people when they break the law? They go to jail, right? And what happens if there's no other family member? What happens to those children? They get put into what? State custody, state care, until it's figured out with the parents what's going on. So you have people, the legit families that are coming up here illegally and coming across the border. It will never be a stream if I don't have a phone call. 1 second. Need to figure out how to mute this. Okay. That was muted, right? Is that all muted? What's up, Robert? I didn't say hello to you last time, man. So hello. So 1 second here, guys, and we're going to get right back to that. 1 quick second. I apologize, but 1 quick second. Should have Robert on talking. How many people we got? 5 viewers. Don't go anywhere. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Still got 5 here. You see you looking good. All right. So wait, you guys could hear all that? Doesn't mind enough not to wake the wife. Great to see you guys. Yep, so much for being a genius. Figure out headphones in my iPhone. Oh. Okay, so I don't even know where I was on this, other than the kids. So yeah, so when you bring kids across the border illegally, when you bring kids across the border illegally and you get separated from a minute, that's not Trump. Obama did it too. Everyone doesn't want to talk about that. And it was a, like Robert pointed out, it was the Ninth Circuit Court that ruled the children must be separated. So this isn't a Trump thing. This is a law thing. It's a thing that was already happening. It isn't something that is solely a Trump policy. And people are so ring-ranged when they think it is. And they're just lied to. But anyways, I hadn't listened to all of this. Or I hadn't watched all this. I don't even know what she's going to say. So I'm saying some of the stuff off the top of my head. So we'll let her go again. Here we go.
At the end of the day, if we improve the conditions of children in a cage, they are still in a cage.
Right, like Obama did.
And we are viscerally, vigorously,
right,
and fundamentally opposed.
Okay. They're opposed to that, but when Trump was saying, I don't quit encouraging these people to come up here, we can't have it. We can't do this. What was the Democrats doing? Encouraging them to come up. Was it Soros? I believe it was Soros that was funding a lot of these caravans that were coming up. They have been trying to manufacture this crisis, and then every time they get exposed for their hand in this, they point it back around on Trump magically.
The criminalizing, the vilifying, the mass detention and deportation of migrant families who are simply doing what is their legal human right, and that is to seek asylum. In the tradition of who we say we are as a country, a beacon of light and hope and of refuge.
Again, on their asylum guys, a lot of these have been, it's just economic. These are economic migrants, most of them. These are not true asylum seekers, and they're not following the laws of asylum seeking. They're breaking those. And these guys love to throw around how it's asylum. It's asylum. They're seeking asylum. Hundreds of thousands a month are seeking asylum. More than ever in history are now seeking asylum from Guatemala and from, El Salvador and from South America, just all of a sudden. And 1/3 of them are being faked. 1/3 of the family units are being faked, which is provable through rapid DNA testing that was taking place on the border. People are selling their kids to other people so that they can use them as a as a family unit, so that they can get asylum and they can get processed quickly and released out into the country with a 2 to 3 to 4 year return cycle before they return date. This is all such crap. It's all been so debunked, but nobody on the left wants to talk about the truth on this. So it's left to the people on the right to point out the falsities in this. And then they're silenced, so there's less of them to be heard. And most people on the left don't take the time to research these subjects fully or with any kind of an open mind. And all they do is they listen to these 4-minute clips from people like Ayanna Pressley and AOC and Ilhan Omar, and they read the headlines on the New York Post and on CNN and all these others, and that's what they think of the story. That's it.
This is simply a disruption and a distraction from the callous, chaotic, and corrupt culture of this administration all the way down. We want to get back to the business of the American people and why we were sent here, reducing the cost of prescription drugs,
Trump's
addressing the public health crisis and epidemic that is gun violence.
Oh my gosh. It is not even almost an epidemic, unless you're talking about in Chicago, right? Or these very progressively liberal ran towns. There's some gun violence there. Why don't they worry about that, right? It's not an epidemic. It's, the flu. We have a flu epidemic at times. We all get the shot for it. What's happening in the Congo right now? Another Ebola outbreak. Or Sudan, or I don't know where it's at, but in Africa, there's a new Ebola. That's an epidemic. That's scary. Gun violence isn't even almost an epidemic, except if you listen to the emotional manipulation that is done by the left.
Addressing the racial wealth gap. And yes, making sure that families stay together.
Yeah.
I also would like to just underscore the fact that despite the occupant of the White House attempts to marginalize us and to silence us, please know that we are more than 4 people.
Yeah.
We ran on a mandate to advocate for and to represent those ignored, left out, and left behind.
Okay.
Our squad is big.
Squad.
Our squad includes any person committed to building a more equitable and just world.
Equitable.
And that is the work that we want to get back to. And given the size of this squad and this great nation, we cannot, we will not be silenced. And I want to send a message.
Okay, so who's trying to silence anybody? You can say all you want to say about all your, and that was not the one I wanted to talk about. So that was painful to have to watch that, even not to be the one. I'm talking about, that's the lady who said, if your black voice doesn't match your black face, keep it quiet, basically. Talk about a very plantation mentality that says if you're black and you don't agree with Democrats and the progressive agenda, then we don't want to hear your voice. Then if you do not agree with us, you better keep your voice quiet. We don't need your, if you've got a black face but you don't have a black voice, basically, I'm paraphrasing, keep it shut. What kind of an absolute, how is that not in and of itself? Can you imagine if she was white saying that? Can you imagine that? Whoa, that's craziness to me. Anyway, I just am totally freebasing right now. Not in a real way. Eye roll. No, they didn't, Robert. Yeah, they are. They're really great little clipperoos of what's going on. Damn, I can't believe she said that. Yeah, no, she's totally. Yeah, I gotta find that what she said, guys. It'll blow your mind. And it's so funny. It's not easily findable right now. Let me pull this Glenn Beck one up. He can talk about it. Maybe he pulls
What's the
clip
best
up.
kept secret to becoming a great singer? I'm going to answer that question in 30 seconds.
Thank you, but I'm skipping.
First of all, at the Netroots over the weekend, I think we have this, Stu. I'm trying to. I just saw it a few minutes ago. At the Netflix conference, somebody took the stage and said, not Netflix, Netroots. Netroots.
Yeah, not Netflix.
And said, we don't need any more black faces that don't want to be black voices.
Yeah, it was
Experience and
So check this
for
out.
whatever lived experience and identity that you represent, if you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice.
So queer is made. What a wonderful recovery the word queer is made.
Yeah.
Okay. Incredible achievement.
Marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up. Because we need you to represent that voice.
No, what we need.
So I don't want to hear Glenn's. I mean, it's probably pretty close. I don't need to hear Glenn's take on this. Can you believe what that lady just said? Can you believe that? She's saying, if you don't agree with us, we don't want your voice. If your black ass is not off the plant, basically on the plantation, we'll... If we want to bring your black, you are not free, basically, is what she's saying. She's saying you are not, if you're black, you are not free to think what you want to think. You need to think how you are told to think. And how you are told to think is democratic, progressive, or liberal ass agenda. That is what black people stand for. And if you don't stand for that, we don't want to hear your voice. You keep your voice shut. That is absolutely freaking, completely and totally ridiculous that she could say that. And she wonders why Blexit's doing so well. And she wonders why there's so many great African-American black patriots rising up. Because they're starting to see through the BS. They're starting to see through the fact that this liberal ass agenda, this liberal ass talking points, this is absolutely insane. It's insane. And so anyways, tying it back in with the whole Trump thing, I bounced all over. Basically, with all this stuff they were saying, right, people were so mad at Trump that he made a comment and took the focus off of him, right? But really what he did is he married he made the whole Democratic that was trying to distance themselves from this squad, saying this is not what the Democrats represent. We don't, we are moderate. We're much more moderate than these guys. We don't agree with everything these guys are saying. We don't, da-da-da. They're trying to distance themselves because people are waking up to, holy crap, these people are off the reservation, right? And there's a whole lot of shady craziness going on around them, like with AOC and her campaign violations, with AOC and the fact that she was actually, there's talk that she was a plant, that she was actually tried out for the part. It was like literally got picked to run and has handlers. With Ilhan Omar from her brother fiasco, from her, illegal immigration here, or immigration, my brain's not working, violations. She married her own brother to get him into the country, to her campaign violations, to her deep ties with Iran, to her deep ties with the Muslim Brotherhood, to her ways to where AOC and Ilhan Omar will not denounce this crazy Antifa dude who just firebombed the ICE center up in Tacoma, right, and got shot, and everyone they're asking AOC and Ilhan Omar to denounce him, and they can't even do it. With all of this stuff where the Democrats are trying to distance themselves, Trump comes out, hits them, and then what happens? The Democrats go, whoosh, they glom right back onto him, and they're supporting him. So now he did a really awesome move of pulling them back together so that all of the Democrats, even the little bit more moderate ones, are getting painted with that paintbrush, right? Or getting painted with that picture frame, if you will. And so a lot of people are saying that was a pretty brilliant move on his half. And I'd have to say that is what he was doing. And it didn't just happen to work out that way. That was pretty smart. But then, like I said, it also took the attention off of the whole immigration dealio. So, yeah. Link to that video. Disturbing. Yeah. So let me read a couple of the comments here. I've been just kind of blown around, just saying this and that. Says Robert said, rule number 1 of the culture Marxism, you only get victim pints for your skin color, etc., if you agree with the left. Exactly. Under the identitarianism and the intersectionality, ideology is it doesn't matter if you are a black, gay, transgendered, amputee, transabled person, right? Normally you would get high victim points for that and be very high up the intersectionality ladder, as long as you are a progressive leaning liberal. Then you get all the points. If you're a conservative, womp, 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 you are off the ladder, out of the circle, the triangle, whatever you want to call it. You are outside. It is absolutely crazy. If you don't believe what they believe, you are out of the circle. Now, here's the thing that I also don't like, and I think we as conservatives have to make sure we don't get caught up in it. We also can get caught up in identitarian politics, right? We also can get caught up in taking stuff out of context and roasting some of these people. Some of the comments, I don't like Ilhan, I don't like AOC, I don't like any of these, Talib, Rashid, whatever her name is. I don't like these, and it's not, again, it has nothing to do with them personally, like who they are as a color or who they are as, their chromosome makeup, nothing like that. It has to do with their policies and how crazy out left field there. But there's been things Ilhan Omar said that I think have been taken a little out of context. And then the right runs with it and blows it all up, right? And so I think we got to be careful on both sides to not or on our side to not do that, because they're not going to do it. The left won't do it. You have the Tim Pools of the world who are liberals, but they're centrist, true moderate liberals, and he looks wicked conservative now. In fact, he's been called an alt-right from the left. He's been called he's a half Japanese guy or Korean guy, Japanese Korean, whatever. I'm kidding. It's all the same. I'm just kidding. But anyway, he has been called an alt-right, he's been called alt-right, neo-white supremacist also, because he doesn't buy in fully with the left. So it's pretty insane. It's a lot of insanity. Say, Gator said, other African Americans call me Uncle Tom's and Aunt Jemima's if they vote outside the party of slavery and civil rights, pro-abortion, that have killed 19 million since 1973. Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah, if the person was white and they were saying that, holy crap, there would have been a lot of backlash on that one. Yeah. Drop that link in the chat, please, Stephen. Okay, I will. I will drop it in the chat right now. This is what we were just watching. There's other ones on it. This is one's going to be with Glenn Beck's commentary and whatnot on it too, which would be great. But I just don't want to. This is my show, not his. Anyways, what are some of the other views we got going on, or comments we got going on here too? Yeah, Robert, I need to get you on next time too, man. I know it's so late there, but her back, being their daughter when they got. Says, heck, even Omar's family lied about her being their daughter when they got their refugee status. I didn't know that, but I believe it. Yeah, I totally believe that. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. So now we go to the rally that happened last night. I was watching that, and when everyone started chanting, what send her back, send her back, send her back, whatever it was. That to me is a form of, I get where they were coming from on it, but I feel like that could also be borderline for us. I want to be better than the left in what they do. And so I'm not totally butthurt about it. I get it and whatnot, the energy and so on and so forth. But it's like I do want to be better than that. But I also don't like the way, like, all the things like Shapiro and some of the other people are coming out. It's like, pick a side, man, because when the one dude, the one kid got kicked out of Harvard, right, because he said the N-word jocks way back in the day, and then the guy who survived the Parkland shooting or whatever it was, and then he gets kicked out of Harvard for things he said when he was 16, who came running to his aid was Ben Shapiro, right? Well, and he was like, hey, we just need to forgive him and forget it. That's not a big deal. And then Ben Shapiro jumps all over Trump on this one. I do think, and then Trump denounced it today. Let's be fair. He denounced it. Let's also be fair. He probably could have used a little bit better wording on some of that when he said it. But again, maybe not. Maybe that's what needed to be said. I don't think it was racist at all. Everyone's calling it racist, and it's how is it racist? We could call it ignorant. We could call it a bit bigoted. Maybe you could argue xenophobic if you wanted to, but not racist. There's nothing racist, and this goes back to what I said before. What Trump said is not racist at all. Trump would have said that about anybody. Doesn't matter their skin color. And for somebody to come out and say, you can't, how dare you criticize these people of color, and you tell them to go back to their wherever and figure it out, when they've said very anti-American things. They've taken some very anti-American stances. But here again, if you are a patriot, true believer, a patriot who believes in the Constitution, who believes in the Bill of Rights, who believes in freedom of speech, if you truly are that person, then you should let them say those things. You should let them burn a flag if they want to. You should let them say terrible things about America, because that's why our boys died, to give them that right. Do I think they're a piece of unholy crap for saying it? I absolutely do. Do I think it's gross and disgusting that they can say it? Yeah. But guess what? That's what the Second Amendment's there for, or the First Amendment's there for. The First Amendment there is to protect unpopular speech, not popular speech. So we can't get butthurt over here when we're trying to stand up and defend our freedom of speech, when the left wants to take it away from us and say, how dare you violate my freedom of speech? And then when they do give speech we don't like, we get our asses all hurt and we start saying, send them back and kick them out. You can't have it both ways. If you believe in freedom of speech, you believe in freedom of speech, period. So it doesn't mean you have to agree or like what they're saying or doing, but you have to admit, and you have to at least be consistent. Let's be consistent. So, but anyways, getting back to what Trump said, I don't think it was racist at all. In fact, I think the people saying it's racist are being racist. They sound a little racist, saying that you are basically saying that a person of color is inferior to you. And so you can't speak down to them or tell them to go back to where they came from. Because that is you're speaking down to them. He would have said it to anybody. If you take that stance, you're taking the stances that this person is below another person, and so we need to be careful and handle them with kid gloves when we talk to them. And Trump's like, I don't care. What his comment, in my opinion, shows is, I don't care what color they are. I don't like what they said, and maybe they should go back to where they came from and get everything worked out, and then come tell us how they did it. it was a smart-assy, ignorant thing to say, like I said, because there are 3 out of the 4 were, actually there or born here. But yeah, so there's that. Yeah, so there's that. One quick second. Did you guys say you could hear me before? You couldn't. I got to pick something up. 1 second here. I wish I had like an inner... Okay, I need to make sure you guys can't hear me when I'm talking. Can you hear me now? Give me a thumbs up. Of course, Gator, that's no sound now. Okay. Now there's sound, though. Okay. Oh, man. So it's just really kind of some craziness going on right there. We got Nick in the house, man. That's great. And suddenly that is too much. I'm so sick of the double standards. Yeah. What are you picking up? Powdered soap? Powdered soap? No, not picking up any powdered soap. That'd be weird. I don't even know what that is. But, yeah, no, I'm trying to do a stream because I haven't done one in forever and a day. And then I get... oh, what's going on? I got, what's up, Jessica? How you doing? Yeah, this is good. I don't know what I said for the recovery part, but you're probably right. I do that. Stick my foot in my mouth. Yeah. So anyways, it's good stuff right there. Don't know where I was at. Got a phone call. Now it's awkward. So I just made it a little awkward on that one. Anyway, that was, pretty interesting. Pretty damn interesting. What was I saying? Something about Trump. Yeah, don't think it was racist. That's what it basically is. Don't think it was racist. If you got to handle colored people with kid gloves and you feel like you have to talk inferior or like carefully to them because you don't want to hurt their feelings, then you're the one who's got some sort of hidden racist tendencies inside of you. If you talk to anybody and everybody all the same, which Trump does, like an idiot sometimes, I just got to be honest, but I like it. I like the way he pisses off the left. I like the way sometimes he just lays it out there. But again, some of the stuff, it's like, probably could have said that better, or you didn't have to say that 4 times in a row. All in all, I don't have to necessarily like his delivery. I like what he's doing. I like what, and I love how he just is a master troll. I will give him this. He is a master troll. That dude knows how to mess with people. It's pretty amazing. So say what you will. It is what it is. But, yeah. Anyway, anyways, yeah, so I have got, apparently one of the mini bikes is breaking down out in the backyard. Kids are having some problems with it. So I got to go work on that. So anyways, I did want to just jump on. I didn't have anything to really talk about, but I felt like I needed to get on and just talk anyways. It's because it's what I do. And I am going to be doing a stream tomorrow night, I think, when everyone's out. So it probably won't be a lot of people in it, but it won't matter. And I am going to be trying to get on here and at least get some done from time to time a little more consistently. But sometimes I forget and I run out of time. This was a hell of a week. Car broke down this week. You guys don't need to hear all this, and I don't have time to tell you all this. It's been a hell of a week, and that's why I haven't put any videos up. I did get a suggestion though from Jessica actually in the chat that we should do a parody song to totally switching gears here. ADHD, it's kicking my ass. That we should do a parody song to, and by we I mean me, do a parody song to the greatest hits of Michael Jackson, right? And just do a snippet of each song and have each one of them representing a child that he, or Michael's touchy past, shall we say. And I think that'd be pretty hilarious. So I think I might work on something like that. But I am still working on my Jeffrey Epstein tune. Got to get that one knocked out. And I got a couple other ones that I'm dinking around with. Anyway, won't be on Saturday with Drone Tech either. I got another wedding, so that sucks. But the following Saturday we will be on, and then I think next week he and I are going to jump on during the midweek and do a little something too, which should be cool. And I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you guys something that was kind of cool. But yeah, I think that's about it. So anyways, thank you guys all for hanging out, all 10 of you. And it was fun. It was real. It was real fun. And I will try to jump on here tomorrow and hang out with you guys again. But until next time, catch you later. Without fear of animals. That's right. That's right, man. Without fear of animals and or without fear or animus. It's SJG Perspective. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.